Today we're going to be tuning this 2018 Trackhawk on the dyno using HPTuners software. This Trackhawk has quite a bit of history with us. We've done a lot of the modifications that are on the vehicle and tuned at multiple iterations here. Most recently it got the Demon blower on it and a triple pump setup. It already has big injectors, so we got all the fuel parts needed to do some big power on ethanol. We've removed the front drive shaft right now and disconnected the electronic components of the transfer case so that we can run it in true just two-wheel drive mode and no risk to any clutches or transfer case parts. Let's get on the dyno.
Changes have you made to the car now, Armin?
So it's same size pulley, 272, but it's got the Demon blower on it. So it went from a 2.4 supercharger to a 2.7. And outside of that, triple pump fuel setup, and that's pretty much it. Yeah, just a supercharger and fuel setup.
Yeah, I just tried to get a baseline log there of what it does on the street. It definitely felt good. Looks like the air-fuel mixture is definitely a little bit leaner than I would run it, and then the timing seems to be pretty high there in the top end, but we'll have to allow the dyno to better inform us. I definitely wasn't all the way into it there, just feeling it out, making sure everything looks right. That wasn't a real deal 100%. So sometimes when a car, does a pretty good number and like things are looking pretty good in the tune, then that's when you start looking at things graphically. I mean, I do a lot of that anyways, but it's often revealing. So the spark table for this vehicle right now, it looks like this, which is it's definitely not one of the worst ones that I've seen, but it is not the way that I had it, and it's just on a remote base map right now. But you can see some pretty interesting things going on there that should not be. This should be a lot smoother. Definitely shouldn't be crossing over here. There's no reason to have timing jump up and then right back down like that. So I have some smoothing that I can do here that might not net a big power gain or anything, but it will net a perceived smoothness and cleaner running of the vehicle. Intercooler temp was definitely higher there by a tick. All right, so that was a good run. Not a huge gain, but I'm not there yet. It's going to take multiple iterations of little changes of refinement to hopefully add some more power to it. So it did do a little bit more power, a little bit more torque. You can see the dyno plot. It beat it everywhere. It looks like pretty much. I added in fuel around the peak torque area. There was two things actually going on. In the base file, we were going off the charts. So the car is making enough power, enough airflow, where that bottom row, we were actually a couple rows below it. So I had to rescale the tables so that we're not going off the tables, and then I added in fuel at that peak torque area now that I had a baseline to show me where that was. In many cases, when you richen something up, you will lose a little bit of power. But as I mentioned earlier, this one was kind of like at the edge of how leaner than I would like to run it. And the fact that it gained power even with a richening probably means that we were at the ragged edge on as far as the AFR is concerned. So like I said a minute ago, hopefully I can stack a few more changes like this, more refinement, smooth it out, and get a real gain here. All right, so I showed you guys the wide open throttle timing table a little bit ago, and it was pretty jagged. Now here's the part throttle timing table, and it has some kind of worse things going on there for sure. You can see how erratic that looks, and up and down, you know, Rocky Mountain stuff going on there. So I'm gonna clean that up in a minute, but while I'm mentioning that, let me go ahead and show you guys the revised watt table. That's what my timing now looks like, with no crossovers and a step with each progressing level of airflow. That is how it should look.
Just a few less horsepower, but quite a big torque jump.
If I'm to believe it. We'll have to look at the table to know if that's real or not.
You cut the RPM short, right? Or you went
Yeah, it's basically at the limiter though.
Oh, okay.
I think I heard a.
Yeah, the torque hit 914.
Okay, let's look at the plot and see if that's real.
Oh, okay.
Here comes. Oh no, that was better everywhere.
Yeah.
That was better. It didn't really show it here,
Right.
but it really showed it. Jesus, dude, wow. That was a solid gain.
That was from the throttle table?
I did like three things there, yeah.
Okay. Still no knock? Everything's looking clean?
Yeah, well, here it is right here, look. KR0.
Nice.
0, 0, 0, 0, everywhere.
Love it. Same boost?
And I even added in a little bit more fuel.
Really?
On that run, yeah. Which it may be that it wants more still. It's still not quite as rich as I usually would run something, especially stock motor and this high of power.
Right.
Like I know the motors are stout, but like it's a stock motor. Like,
Right.
Yeah, I know, but they're not. There's a big difference between factory forged and big difference. I did take out timing, and it dropped power. So verifying that we were at a correct timing number, even though it seems a little high. Moving it down, lost power.
So what were you playing with?
We had tried to bring timing down, and we definitely, a couple runs ago, and we definitely lost power. And then I was going in, looking at the NOx sensor readings and trying to decide where potentially was higher or lower than it wanted to be, and I made some adjustments for that. But it looks like it did not appreciate those. So I mean, sometimes that's the case where you can't know for sure if it's gonna make a gain or not. Sometimes I'm making a change to make it more safe. Sometimes I'm making a change to make it make more power. Of course, I'd like to make more power, but I'm not gonna do something here that puts it at risk. experimentation paid off there. I was ready to give up like 2 runs ago, like, hey, we hit the top number, but glad I didn't.
Do you care saying what you did, or
Trade secrets. All right, that does it for the Trackhawk. I'm happy with the results. Hopefully Armin will be equally so once we hit the street in a minute. I'm excited for that moment. But the car ended up at 907 wheel horsepower and 914 torque, which was a solid 25 over what it came in on the baseline. The base tune was a pretty good, was not a low effort tune, you know. It was a base tune, but it had a lot of timing in it. It was largely in the ballpark, so I just had to refine and smooth and get things exactly right for his application here, all of his parts. I think I did that, and that's it, guys. Please hit like, subscribe, check us out next time. Later.